Let's talk about some of the non-technical challenges we have when we're including our database in the DevOps process. Certainly most of this course covers the technical details. How do we actually build a database in CI or deploy it to an environment? But the changes involved with people and changes involved with implementing DevOps in a culture are typically the most difficult and most time-consuming. There are lots of issues we have to look at here, but one of the main ones is that the production DBA often is resistant and in trouble here, or they're difficult to work with. And I've been that person. And it's not that we don't want changes, we don't want software to be deployed, but we typically aren't as familiar with software development tools and techniques, and we're not familiar with the needs, goals, and requirements of developers because we have our own issues. Sysadmins, we have to maintain stability. We have to maintain performance. We have to maintain availability in our systems. And that's fundamentally at odds with developers. Developers want to deploy code. They want to get that code from development out to production. They want customers to see it. They want quick feedback. And so they want to ensure that they're meeting their goals, which is getting software to customers. DBAs are trying to ensure that they're not causing any issues, that all the software deploy actually works correctly and it doesn't affect availability or stability, or more importantly, data integrity. Now there are many issues here. The lack of coordination, the lack of fundamental goals here is part of the problem. Our staff has different responsibilities, and so we have to learn to work together, and that can be a challenge. We have to ensure that the production DBAs aren't just liable for every issue, and the developers don't just throw code over the wall and expect that the DBAs will deal with it or the sysadmins will deal with it. We have to ensure that both sides work together and they understand and appreciate the difficulties of security, stability, and performance in production, and also the difficulties of trying to get software built and deployed to our customers very quickly. We also have to ensure that we have the same amount of knowledge and that we share things. It's not that DBAs have to learn to write application code or application developers have to learn how to manage a database, but they have to appreciate and understand the issues that are there, and so that they can take advantage of their knowledge to help the other side. Developers can help DBAs script things, help them deploy things in an automated fashion. DBAs can ensure that the environments are consistently built, that developers understand security, they understand the challenges of packaging up database code and deploying it to different environments. And then they have to learn to change their habits to work with the other side, to make sure that we have a smooth flow of software from development all the way through to production. We also have to talk about data, right? Data challenges exist with our people as well. We have to migrate some data between environments. We have to take some data and change it as it moves from environment to environment. And both the DBAs and developers have to work together here to understand that we can't take that reference data and have problems when we deploy it. Developers can't change zip codes and have them deployed through to production. They have to ensure that's an intact data set. DBAs also have to ensure that developers are aware that as we change some things like encryption keys, or that we change addresses for messaging servers or queues, that we do so in a way that ensures the software responds appropriately and can actually work in both sides. And then the last thing we have to worry about is drift. There's always going to be the need for DBAs to make some change in production. We have to address a hotfix. We have to fix a performance issue. We have to make the system work right now. DBAs have to understand how to feed those changes back to development. DBAs can't change the system and have the developers build software on an unknown version of their code. So DBAs need to understand source control. They need to understand how to send those changes back to back to development again, so the developers get that code. We call this drift, and we'll talk about it in another module, but that's one of the biggest issues we have with DevOps, is that ensuring that all of our systems work correctly and that they build from the same basis, and that we're communicating back and forth together. DBAs and developers have to learn to work together. It's a challenge, but it's one we'll address as we move through the course.